Fidel's resignation. As news flashed of the formal resignation of Cuba's Fidel Castro from the office of the president, morbid celebrations broke out in Little Havana, Miami, Florida, the U.S. capital of the Cuban exile anti-Castro movement. Just as they rejoiced at his illness in 2006, they reveled at his resignation. But Fidel's almost 50-year run as Cuban head of state has had a momentous impact, not just on Cuba, but on Latin America and the vast world beyond. For as Fidel steps down from power, almost a half dozen of his ideological sons and daughters have come to power throughout Latin America. While nominally socialist and deeply nationalist, many of them were inspired by the Cuban Revolution. Some, like Venezuela's Hugo Chavez, have embraced a continental and internationalist perspective that is overtly opposed to the interventionist policies of the U.S.-backed IMF and the World Bank. Latin America, largely through Cuba's steadfast example, has turned away from the draconian rule of the generals to the rule of democratic and leftist populists. In the realm of education, Cuba's performance has been exemplary. In Central and South America, the average literacy rate is 86.4%. Cuba's literacy rate, 96%. Under its socialist system, all education is free. In fact, Cuba is the educator of choice for thousands of people from around the world in higher and medical education. All of this for free. Castro didn't inherit a country with such a high literacy rate. Indeed, in 1961, over 1 million Cubans, mostly folks in the nation's rural areas, were illiterate. Over 100,000 children over 10 years of age volunteered to participate in the literacy brigadistas, covering the country to teach the poor and the peasantry how to write and to read. One such man, an alfabetizado or student named Juan Martinez, wrote in one of the first sentences of his life, "Nunca me he sentido cubano hasta que aprende a leer y a escribir." In English, his words meant, "I never really felt Cuban until I learned to read and write." In foreign affairs, Cuba put her considerable military power in the front ranks against the racist apartheid regime of South Africa. Cuba and the armed forces of Angola fought South Africa at a place called Quito Carnival, inflicting such losses on the apartheid army that it began the long road to negotiation and settlement. Yes, Castro is laying aside his office, a process which, for U.S. presidents, usually means the opportunity to accrue obscene amounts of money. But he leaves a proud tradition of Latin American sovereignty, impressive successes in the fields of education and medicine, and revolutionary resistance to the racist apartheid regime of South Africa. Not bad. From death row, this is Mumia Abu Jamal. These commentaries are produced by Noel Hanrahan for Prison Radio.